My fellow Cocke Countyans, we are gathered here today with the leaders of our community to give you the best information that we have regarding as you know, the flooding and the disaster that's stricken our community. Barely 24 hours ago, none of this was happening. Life was going on as normal. Barely 24 hours ago, life was going on as normal, and life was going on as normal, and we weren't encountering any of this. Now, barely 24 hours later, life has changed for all of us. In that time, in those 24 hours, we've experienced a calamity that has not happened in the last 100 years. This is a 100-year event for us. However, I thank God for the people that we have on our team to handle this situation for us. In the last 24 hours, we have rescued countless people, more people literally than we're able to count right now. We're going to have to wait till the dust settles to find out how many people that is, but they've been rescued by water, by land, and by air even. We have marshaled the resources of the county as well as the resources that have come to us from surrounding counties and even counties as far away as Chattanooga and similar cases. We want to thank everyone everyone here, all of our responders. We want to thank all of those who have volunteered their time to come and help us. We want to thank all of the volunteers who have helped to do everything from distribute food and water to to staff our evacuation shelters. We want to thank our citizens for cooperating and going along with evacuating from their homes and keeping themselves and their families safe so that our responders are not put in harm's way. And I also want to thank the people that are here with us who are having to make the tough decisions and are the ones who are staying up all night long, 24 hours plus, to make sure that the citizens of our county are safe. Because that is our number one priority, is the safety of our citizens. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to go through each functional area, operational area. They're going to give a brief statement, and then at the end we will have time for just a few questions. So we will start with the City of Newport, the City Administrator, Mr. James Fincham.
Thank you, Mayor. One thing just to say about our mayor would be here, Mayor Roland Dykes III, but he unfortunately had surgery this past week, and he is still recuperating from that, or he would be here, and he would be heavily involved in what's going on. But luckily, inside the city, as far as all city services, our staff is highly trained and equipped, and we've been on top of this as much as possible from the beginning yesterday. We have suffered some damage downtown. The city hall is downtown. It's incapacitated. The police department is downtown. It's incapacitated. We have moved some operations to the Newport Community Center for the police department and city hall operations, but some things will still be at city hall during cleanup. We've already begun cleanup at city hall, and we hope to have it back up and running by the first of the week. We've, as the mayor said, we've worked closely with the county, the sheriff's department, trying to assist them as much as we could, but still maintain resources to take care of the city of Newport. And the big thing for us right now is getting the streets open. We've about got downtown opened up. We are waiting on the state to come evaluate what we call the North Street Bridge. It's Highway 411 and 321. And it crosses the Pigeon River. There was a lot of debris struck it overnight, and so they have to check it to make sure it's structurally sound before they'll open it to vehicle traffic. We have opened it to foot traffic, and that's the best we can do till the state clears it. We just can't do anything else. On behalf of the utility company, which the city owns, I know myself, my power was out from about 3:15 yesterday till 9 this morning. But they are working diligently to do what they can to get everybody's power back up and running. As the mayor said, the records go back to like 1907 or something, and there's never been a flood like this. Now, I've been with the city a long time, and I've heard, oh, this is a 100-year flood, oh, this is a 500-year flood. And I even heard back in 2004, we had the worst storm I ever seen come through, which was another hurricane. I don't recall the name. We had a bad flood then, and the interstate, 2 lanes of it got washed out like it did this year. And that's the second time that's happened probably in the last 20 years. So I even heard people throw out a 1,000-year flood. So, man, if that was a 1,000-year flood, this is a 5,000-year flood. I don't know how you come to that conclusion. People like throwing out names like that, so I don't. I just share that with people trying to designate how often this happens. But I'm going to speculate if it's ever happened before, it was in the 1800s. Probably, when there was no dam on the river, and back when town would get flooded until they put the dam on the river. But anyway, the county's been working hard to try to get everything up and running. Oh, I'm sorry, back to NU. I got myself sidetracked. I do that sometimes. NU, we've got a lot of the power back on. We still have places that we're working on, and we're going to try to get the power back up to everybody as quickly as possible. Now, the water's a separate issue. This is the first time we've had water problems that have lasted this long. The intake for the water system is on the French Broad River. And right now, there is an operations building there that runs the mechanism and powers the pumps, and it is underwater. So until the river recedes, we don't know how long water's going to be out. It could be back up tonight or tomorrow, and it may not. We cannot give a timeline on it. Again, we will work diligently to get that working as quickly as possible. I have no water at home myself, so I know how that is. Trust me, I'm right in there suffering the pain with you, for all of our citizens that don't have water. And that's one of the big things everybody's calling about, wanting to know when their water is going to be back. I wish I could give them a timeline, but I really can't. Well, I don't know what else to share other than that. I could share just stories, stuff I've seen that I've never seen before, but it's been well documented online. There's plenty of pictures for people to look at. But I can tell you that all this group right here was coordinating all evening yesterday to make sure that everybody had what they needed. That if they needed help out in the county, we went and helped them. If we needed help in the city, they came and helped us. There was a great help from everybody. It was a great effort, a team community effort by all these agencies to work together to help the public. And I'm proud of my people. I'm proud of the way everybody worked together. And that's the way it should be. That's about it for me. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Administrator Fincham. To Administrator Fincham's point, we have two rivers that run through the heart of Cocke County, the French Broad and the Pigeon. Both of them shattered their record highs simultaneously. And so that's one reason why our resources have been stretched so thin, and one reason why we're so grateful for all the help we've received. To brief the next portion, law enforcement and public safety, Sheriff C.J. Ball.
Just a quick rundown on the law enforcement aspect of things. Law enforcement is 100% active. We have got multi-agencies from state, federal, local, multi-counties across the state, sheriffs, municipality, law enforcement departments. And some of them is behind us. You got Tennessee Highway Patrol, TWRA. Law enforcement, we've got probably 8 to 10 different counties that is sending deputies and police officers to our area to continue the law enforcement calls of service. And also they have all been added to search teams to where they are going out and deployed with swift water rescue and deployed with our support and whatever other source that we have. We are continuing to answer several calls of service that are emergencies and emergencies only. The only calls we're not trying to answer at this time is just sensible reports such as, minor incidents, car accidents, and things like that, unless there's injuries involved or, if we have any kind of fatality. Law enforcement will continue to man anywhere between 20 and 30 different law enforcement officers on a shift. That's what we are averaging at this time. We usually average between the city and the county, we run about 5 to 6 officers per shift, so we've tripled our law enforcement intake for the service of the people of Cocke County and the city of Newport. With that being said, the air support has probably been one of the most crucial things we've had, especially when it comes to going out in the community, being able to get the individuals that could not travel with vehicle or on foot. There's been several individuals that has been taken by our support, where the officers are going down, and the Swiftwater Rescue Team and other first responders to help get them back into the helicopter and get them to dry land or a staging point. Also, we've got an emergency situation where we're coming into, where a lot of people is going to Facebook and social media, the Sheriff's Department's page. We're getting private messages that's coming to the private Facebook pages and going to individuals requesting help. Call 911, call the non-emergency phone numbers at 423-623-877, and EMA Director Esway will give another number of a way to get help. The Facebook page has just now been taken over by the Tennessee Highway Patrol that we actually monitor. They've actually hooked into that. They're going to start responding to those calls of service through the EOC building. So when you send that stuff, that Facebook page that's got behind, they're going to try to get that stuff called up, but the main source to get help is 911 or the non-emergency numbers that they were going to give you, because we obviously at this point in time have got to worry about saving life and getting to people that's got medical situations that need to be taken care of, and we're not able to get to social media to respond to that stuff as quick as we can. So we ask you on a law enforcement standpoint to please contact your emergency and non-emergency numbers. That way we can get help to you as quick as possible. We have several people here that's to help, and we're going to be there for you. So if there's, like I said, if there's anything we can do, we are here. We're active. City, county, state, federal law enforcement is here. And like I said, if you've got any questions for us, they'll do that at the end, but we'll hand it over to the next one. Thank you.
We've heard from the Newport Utility Board, the electric and water utility. Next will be the gas utility, the Jefferson Cocke Utility Board, Jefferson Cocke County Utility Board, and that is going to be their president, Clinton Hammonds.
Hello. On behalf of JCCUD, I'd like to give you an update. And first, I want to say the best, some good news that we can share, thanks to our emergency management agency, law enforcement, and everybody in the county that's helping out. We have saved numerous lives, so that's what's number one. As far as natural gas and propane are concerned, we have approximately 100 natural gas customers whose homes were either flooded out completely or submerged to the level of the meter. They have been turned off for safety, and we will be following up Monday as the waters recede with aid in the surrounding utilities. So we have people coming in Monday to help us get those meters broken down and checked, replaced, processed. Some homes will not be able to have a service restored because they're damaged or uninhabitable. Probably more substantial in our case is we don't even have a number yet, but we have numerous propane tanks that were floated and taken away from the home and the property. So the good news report, none of those caused any incidents that we're aware of as far as fires, explosions, but we will have damage control to do after that. So we will work as diligently as we can to restore those services as quickly as possible. But again, most of the places where these things washed out, there's probably not going to be a home that's inhabitable to have that service reestablished right away. But we will be working as hard as we can, and thank you.
Thank you, Director Hammonds. Next, we'll be talking about education, and this is going to be the Superintendent of Schools for Cocke County, Manny Moore, and his Assistant Director, Casey Kelly.
Thank you all. As far as we can see, we haven't suffered any major damage to any of our school buildings. But like has been previously mentioned, a lot of the infrastructure that it takes to have school and so forth has been greatly damaged. And not only that, obviously our employees and students and other stakeholders that are hurting and struggling right now. So we hope to work with this group who's been awesome to work with and come up with a plan about how it's going to look like to educate our kids moving forward. Thank you.
Our role as assistant director is to assist the director any way I can. It's also in a different role. It's as an operational support officer for emergency management. That's kind of where I've been the last 24 hours, 48 hours. The school system has resources. We use those resources in times of emergency to assist any call that emergency management, local law enforcement, or first responders need. We've been able to utilize school buses to evacuate a hotel in downtown Newport, the Mims Hotel. We use school buses to evacuate the inmates from the jail to another holding facility through mutual aid from some of our local counties. We are collaborating with emergency management for donations and distribution of those donations. We're very new into this right now. Within our first 36 hours, the donations are coming in, but the need is great, and we're getting those distributed out just as quick as we possibly can. We had 2 schools that were used as shelters. Centerview Elementary was open late last night when the river stage at the Nolichucky took an issue. Parrotsville School was open late yesterday evening when access to downtown Newport through the north side of town, Northport Bridge, was compromised, and we had to evacuate some of that area. We were able to close the Centerview shelter. All those occupants were able to go back to friends or family. We still have 25 residents at Parrotsville. Parrotsville still does have water, hopefully for a little bit longer, if not permanently. We're working with the Red Cross to take care of that, and donations, and school system staff, cafeteria staff have stepped up and are doing their job the best they possibly can. Also help with staging of assets. And not everybody was here late last night, but if you could have seen the amount of assets and mutual aid that rolled into this county for support, it was impressive. It was heartwarming, and we're going to continue to do our best to serve the citizens of this county and make it through this together. Thank you.
Mayor, that jogged me on something. Sorry. Thank you. One thing that Assistant Director Kelly jogged me on that I forgot to mention, the Newport Community Center opened yesterday afternoon at the beginning of this event as a shelter, and it is still open. And so I want to thank the volunteers that have come in to help man that, also the donations that have come into it to feed people. And also, as the sheriff said, we've had places as far away as Nashville reach out to us and want to know, could they come and help? And we certainly appreciate that. And as you can see outside where you come in, a lot of stuff is being distributed as we speak right outside the doors. But thank you. I forgot to mention about the community center. That reminded me.
Thank you, James. Next to speak will be representing healthcare, will be the CEO of Tenova Newport Hospital, Scott Williams.
Thank you, Mayor. Tenova Newport Medical Center is open and operating. We are operating on a limited capacity because of the lack of water. So currently we are not doing surgeries. Right now we'll be transferring surgeries. However, our emergency department, our medical surgical unit, our intensive care unit, and our labor and delivery unit are fully operational. We have some very good news in that through the hard work of our company, we have acquired 2 8,000-gallon water trailers, tractor trailers, that they will be placing both at Newport Hospital and at our convalescent center. And through the hard work of Cocke County fire and volunteer fire departments in our area, we will keep those tanks full, and that will give us the ability to have water to function in our facility. We have plenty of drinking water through the gracious donations of multiple organizations and multiple people, but this water that we'll use is for flushing toilets, for washing hands, for running through our boiler, for generating steam, and the functions of the building that are so essential to patient care. I really deeply appreciate the Emergency Management Association, law enforcement, fire department, and all the interagencies that have worked so hard to keep our community up and running. And I can tell you that the hospital had a power failure at all, and we've not had to use our emergency generators, and we have had a great experience working with our community in order to keep our hospital running, and we look forward to working with our community. We are extremely saddened, and our prayers go out to the families and the community that have suffered through this, but we're here for them, and we continue to want to work hard to take care of them as they come into our facility. Thank you, and I appreciate everyone's support.
Thanks, Scott. Next to speak will be the Cocke County EMA Director, Joe Esway.
A function of emergency management is to mitigate disaster. We plan, we strategize, we drill, we train, we identify the chinks in the armor, and then we do it all over again, time and time again. This was an event that was hard-hitting for Cocke County. But Cocke County did what it always does. We knuckled up, and the men behind me, including our mayor, worked together in a spirit of trust and cooperation to get where we are right now. I've been in constant contact with Director Patrick Sheehan and Regional Director Todd Jones from the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency. They have not only pledged their full support, they have sent us an enormous amount of assets. Working at the fairgrounds for staging is Battalion Chief Ashley May from the Chattanooga Fire Department. He has organized personnel and equipment, assets, and supplies into specific teams designed to do very specific missions, and those crews have been out all day today. The Emergency Operations Center went active on September 25th at 11:05 a.m. Now, obviously, that was in advance of this event, but we were already dealing with another event that had been coming up through the southwest. Enormous amount of rain on us. That flooding, coupled with Helene, has created some pretty devastating results for portions of Cocke County. Mayor Mathis and I went up in the Knox County Sheriff's helicopter today. We had gotten word that we had a deputy that had not been heard from in several hours, and we just want to make sure that he got home okay to an affected area. And when the mayor found out that we were missing a deputy, he said, let's go. So we had an opportunity to tour the county and some of the damage from the county. We have issues with interstate commerce, as you know. There's a portion of I-40 coming into Tennessee that has literally washed away. There is a piece right around mile marker 448 going east into North Carolina where we've lost the guardrail, the breakdown lane, and there's a crack that's formed in the center line median. So that's why the interstate shut down in both directions. Railway has been effective. We have, from what the mayor and I saw, 3 homes sitting on top of the railroad tracks in Del Rio. So that's all obviously things that are going to need to be cleaned up. Right now we're in the rescue phase. We will be in the rescue phase for quite some time. The men standing behind me, they refuse to quit, they refuse to give up, and we will keep sending emergency responders out as long as everyone is not accounted for. In the spirit of that, we've set up a number, a displaced family member hotline. This number will ring directly to my emergency operations center right up the road. That number is area code 423-540-5551. There will be a person staffing that phone for the next several hours, and then we'll pick it up again tomorrow morning. If citizens are inquiring about somebody that has been displaced from their family, as the sheriff said, don't send messages through Facebook Messenger. We're not checking those things with great frequency right now because, as you imagine, we're pretty busy. Call the hotline. We have rosters that have provided of people that have been to the shelter areas, and we'll let you know if we've seen them, if we have them, or where we sent them. There's been a lot of folks asking about donations and how to volunteer. If they're looking to donate items or volunteer, you can call area code 423-540-0171. That too will ring into my emergency operations center, and that will be staffed as well. Items can be dropped off here where we are at 601 West Broadway Street in Newport, Tennessee. As far as pertinent information I think is relevant at this point in time, that's what I have right now, and I'll turn it back over to the mayor.
You want to speak about the distribution? All right. Hopefully, you see from the people gathered today and from these people, these outstanding people, that the information that they're giving is, we're giving you the best we got. Whatever information we have, we're making sure you have it as well. A few things that I want to draw out, to point out here is, one is the resilience of our community, the resilience of our people. We've been knocked down before, we've rose up before, and we're going to rise up from this stronger than we've ever been. There's a saying, mountain strong, and that's exactly what we are. We are a hardy people, and we will rise up from this. Something else I want to ask is, if we want to rise from this, it's going to take a few things. It's going to take positivity. We have to believe we can do it. We have to believe in one another. We have to not take opportunities to criticize. Let's take opportunities to uplift and help one another and be positive, find a way to be productive with one another. And also that feeds into the next, which is, let's be together. Let's be unified. If we are positive and pull together, then not only can we rise up from this, but we can overcome anything that comes before us as a county. We're well underway to doing this. When our county, before we encountered this incident around 24 hours ago, we were a county on the rise. We are still a county on the rise, because it's not the conditions that make us, it's how we respond to those conditions. It's not the disasters or the obstacles that lie before us, it's how we overcome those obstacles. It's how we pull together, we stay positive, and we put one foot in front of the other, and knowing where we all want to go together. And I just want to encourage each and every one of you that we are still going to do that. We will rise up, we'll be better, we will rise from this stronger than we were ever before. And with the people like this in this room, and the people of our county, and the people who have come to this county to help us, I want to tell you, the folks who have come to help us, you have made friends for life. If you ever need anything, Cocke County will not just come to help you, they will run to help you, no matter who, no matter what. And again, I just want to thank those who have come to help us. I want to thank those who have, our citizens, who have, whether they were first responders, volunteers, officials. I want to thank each and every one of them for the work that they have done, the work that they will continue to do, because in some ways, our greatest challenge lies before us, and that's the rebuilding. And so, just as Director Esway stated, that we will not rest until everyone who needs rescuing is rescued. When the next phase comes, we will not rest until everyone who needs help gets that help. So I want you to please just know that. I know it's not going to come as quickly as any of us wants, and it may not look the way we want it to look sometimes, but we're going to do the best we can, and we are going to get the help to every single Cocke County that they need, no matter what it takes, no matter what we have to do. We're going to be here for you. And with that, I will just say, God bless you all. God bless our county. Please pray for Cocke County and our people. And we will now answer a few questions. Does anyone have? Yes, ma'am.
For the missing deputy, could you talk a little bit about his situation?
Sure, Sheriff.
Yeah, he lives up on one of the roads in Del Rio, and they'd lost contact with him. He was at home at his residence, and we was unable to make any kind of contact with him through the telephone or anything like that. They had our support up there yesterday evening, also trying to make contact, but today our support was able to make contact when they was up there trying to make other rescues today. But he's completely fine, his family's fine, and we've made contact, so he's good.
CJ, earlier today you talked there were 50 rescues. You said, are we still at that number? Do you have a number of how many rescues have taken place?
I don't have the exact number, but it's definitely well over 50.
Over 50?
Yeah, definitely well over 50, probably more closer to the 100 mark, if not more. There's definitely been a lot of rescue take place, you know, like you said, whether it was by side, whether it was by air or on foot or in boats. a lot of rescue attempts have been made and a lot of success in that apprehension. Like the mayor had said, that it does take time to get to these individuals that seek out looking for help. You know, we've got roads that are missing, and we've got debris in the road, so we've got to take our time and remove debris. Make sure there's a road in place before we get there. If not, we'll get a boat, but it does take time. Obviously, the water is moving so fast at that point in time. You know that water and boats, that doesn't stop a boat from going down because of water. It's, they may be designed for that, but they're also dangerous to be in that kind of water. It's very swift.
You also mentioned you lost some rescue vehicles in this whole process.
Yeah, there's been emergency responder vehicles lost. We've lost law enforcement vehicles. I think the fire department, and I think one of the out-of-county rescue squads may have lost a vehicle. So we have that. Touch base on that. We've had other agencies throughout the state, sheriff's departments reached out. They're on their way now, bringing us 4 or 5 cruisers to replace what we've got that can't run at this time, and that we'll be able to put those on patrol as quick as possible. I don't know what name will be on it yet, but it'll have lights and emergency equipment on it, so that way you can kind of tell it is law enforcement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dave, to follow up with that, with the rescues, again, I don't want to put a number on the rescues, but it's way up there. Every single, we had a board of rescues, and whenever we'd wipe one off, it was just it was a victory for us, victory for the whole team. And every single one of those names and addresses where the people were located, we were able to rescue each and every one of those folks. We didn't lose any of those people who had come to our attention that needed a rescue that we identified. We were able to get to every one of those folks. Some of them took a long time, but we got to all of them, and we didn't lose any of them. Any other questions?
You mentioned the Newport Community Center.
Yes, sir.
What's the capacity there, and is there any other places that people can go to?
Which one y'all would like to do?
I'm going to mention that. As far as capacity, I couldn't give you a definite number. We had about 30 last night. We can handle that comfortably. Probably 100 we can handle, and then possibly even more than that. It's been a long time since we had the shelter, open it up as a shelter, and we've never maxed it out. So, so far we've been able to handle everybody, and I think we'll still be able to do that. There's a Liberty Church on Cosby, opened up yesterday as a shelter also. Now, it's not a very large church, but it would probably accommodate a lot of the people up in that area in Cosby. As mentioned earlier by Mr. Esway, Piratsville School also opened yesterday when the town got cut off from the north side. They opened it, and it's my understanding it's still open. Normally we use a lot of the volunteer fire departments, but they've all had to be out and doing rescues, and I don't know if any of them are along the river in the flood zones. I really don't know exactly where they're all located. I know in Del Rio there's a creek just right across from it up there. I don't know if it got out of whack, but I think we're in good shape as far as that right now. As I said, we're still trying to get people out. We think we're getting close to having that resolved. We are in the city, and they mentioned vehicles. We lost 4 vehicles in the city. All those were at City Hall, and the police department because the police department is on the river, and so we're accustomed during rain events for the water to get up in behind the police station. So when the weather turned bad and the water started rising, we moved all our vehicles to higher ground from the police station, so we didn't lose any. And just a side note, we spotted the lost fire truck this morning. It's in a field up off the Edwina Road, and amazingly, it appears to be undamaged. But now I'm sure that the motor and stuff had it. But just looking at it out in that field as it went by, it just looked like somebody parked it there. So if it didn't get banged up any coming down the river, that's a miracle too. So, but thanks for your question.
Do you all have a number or estimate of how many agencies from like surrounding areas have responded?
I'll let Mr. Esway answer that. Just a final note on the evacuation centers. Parrotsville Elementary is still open. Like I said, Centerview Elementary is closed now. All the occupants at Centerview are able to go back to friends or family. We encourage that. Try to get to friends or family first. They're a lot more comfortable than a gymnasium on a cot is. We've got about capacity at Parisville for 30 cots. There's 20 to 25 there now. We've cycled approximately 100 different people through Parisville Elementary, 20 to 25 still remaining. Staffing is with school system staff right now and a few volunteers. But again, we would encourage friends and family first. We're going to be open as long as we need to be. It would be great to get people more comfortable in an environment that they're comfortable being in.
The short answer to that question is no. We worked through the night and into the morning on compartmentalizing things, staying out very specific taskers to very specific people who are talented in one way or another. It's hard to calculate that right now. There are rosters that exist, don't get me wrong, but looking at that roster to see who showed up has not been a priority for me right now, but I know that my folks have accountability to that. But to say that there would, I mean, there's got to be, what, 50 different agencies. Where it gets confusing is last night I'm talking to a couple of fellas with our SWAT commander who had been out in the MRAP all day performing high water rescue, and these two guys work for the Forestry Service, and they just got their swiftwater rescue gear and just showed up and hopped on an MRAP with us and started performing rescues. So there's been a lot of that going on, but we've got that very well organized today. Yesterday it was get out there, get them rescued and get them back and get them safe. This morning we're very organized and very methodical about things, but the after action report will have all those agencies in it.
Thank you, George. Yeah, one more question.
I know you said that of the people who have been rescued so far, there's been no fatalities there. Are there any fatalities related to the storm or flooding in general?
That's unknown at this time. Again, everything that's been reported to us, we're hesitant to answer that until you never know what's going to happen until the waters recede. We don't know what we don't know. But I just can tell you that everything that's been reported to us as far as people who need rescue, we have been able to get to them and rescue them, and I think that's actually quite miraculous when you look at the numbers we're dealing with. And you're seeing the pictures and the video of what happened and how quickly it did happen. I think that is I think that's a testimony to the protection of God and the skill of the people behind me and everybody that they represent. So with that, I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you again, everyone who's helped us. Thank you, Cocke County, and thank you to all of our friends and neighbors. We are forever in your debt, and you have friends for life here in Cocke County. Thank you all for being here again, and God bless us all.